always say to parents, I can give you the most wonderful, the golden egg of all things parenting. I can hand it to you and say, here, when your child does this, do this. But it won't work if you don't come from a proper point of view. It won't work if you don't have foundational knowledge. It won't work if you don't have the proper biblical perspective. And that starts within ourselves. That starts within our marriages. Now, some of you are parenting as single parents. So anytime I refer to marriage today, we're going to talk about marriage first, I want you to insert your relation self, because you are doing this as a single parent, and so yourself, what you have going on, the things, the needs in your life, we're going to put you in that same position as your marriage when it comes to the household, because the Lord sets this up so that that marriage becomes the primary relationship in the home. And anytime we defer from anything the Lord has set up for us, we bring down a world of hurt on ourselves. Amen? All right, so what we want to do is we want to talk about how do we do that? How do we get back to the place? Because so many families, you know, when mom and dad get married, it's kind of until children do us part, right? How many of you said that in your vows? Sickness, health, children. Did you say that? No, you didn't say that. So you have to understand that while we are to love our children, absolutely love your children, don't be in love with your children. Let me say that again. Love your children, but don't be in love with your children. When we become in love with our children, we start messing up the dynamic in the home. We start getting things off balance. And I pick on mothers quite a bit because mothers typically are more guilty of this than fathers. It's true. I'm a mom too. Of course, my friends always say, you're more like a guy than a girl. You know, you kind of have that guy mentality. So I'm going to pick on you moms today, and we'll get to the dads later. But moms, when that precious little baby comes along, love that baby, kiss that baby, smell that baby. They always smell so good, at first at least, right? But you have to remember, even though you have changed physically, emotionally, whether your children are biological, adopted, your husband has not, and he still needs that attention from you. And we're going to get into that as we go through the next couple of weeks. But we have to maintain that relationship with one another. If we don't keep that on the forefront, then not only is it detrimental to our marriages, but it's detrimental to the children who are watching us. Because our daughters are watching, what kind of wife do I need to be to my husband? And what kind of husband do I want to have? To our sons, what kind of husband do I need to be to my wife? And what kind of husband do I want my wife to have? They are watching everything that we do. And when we are in a relationship with one another, as opposed to our children don't bear the burden of those responsibilities. They don't bear the burden of having to make the decisions that should come from a husband and wife. We don't suffer in this country from a lack of fathers or mothers in the home. We suffer from a lack of husbands in the home, from wives in the home. If you are not being a husband to your wife, if she is not first behind the Lord himself, there's a problem. If your husband is not first, and that's hard for a woman to swallow, because we see all these beautiful Pinterest little posts, right? We see all the fancy little words with the cute little pictures behind it, cute ringlet little girls, right? You should be on for your child 24/7. They should be the absolute most important till the end of time thing in your life. And I'm going to tell you, no, they don't.